Welcome back to Hardcore Ultimate Iron Man. We are over here in Miscellanea to unlock something that we don't get to unlock by doing some quests here. But before we get to that, we're going to dismiss a random event, talk to a flower girl to buy some flowers, because we need flowers. They are conveniently located right here. And also, alching the red d'hide body. I have slightly changed the order I want to do things, and as such, the red dragonhide body is no longer needed. If we ever need one again, it is as simple as killing some red dragons, getting a crafting boost, and making it. But with what I have in mind, probably not going to be necessary. Heading into the castle here, and upstairs, we head to the throne room. This guard is guarding the throne room, and unlike most guards, is actually stopping us from just doing whatever we want. My name is Rakla. It's my Fremen name. We can go through. The king will only give audience to a worthy hero. Well, I'm in the Heroes Guild. I'd say that counts. Here we go. Here is King Vargas. He is some kind of yeti or something. It's a whole thing. The chair has been smashed because he's too large, and he's having problems. I'm known as Rakla, and I'm in search of a quest. I just always talk to random kings, and it usually works out for me. He was an adventurer back in his youth, roaming the lands, striking down mighty foes. Good times, good times. But that all came to an end when he went to the Icelands and got cursed. And as you might expect, being a yeti or something makes it difficult to be the leader. So he's looking for someone to be regent of Miscellanea. Start Throne of Miscellanea. Well, I'm here, so how about I do that? I can rule a kingdom. I'm sure it's going to be a great idea. But first, we need to demonstrate our worth. We are a noble warrior, for sure. But we need to show some diplomacy. There's been a war with the neighboring kingdom of Exeteria for hundreds of years. And they're kind of over it at this point. So it's time to make amends. We just need to negotiate peace to show we are a good diplomat. That I can do. But there's one other thing. First, we have to be a member of the royal family to become the ruler. And as such, we need to convince Princess Astrid to marry us. A mere formality, but necessary. Princess Astrid, right over here. Just going to barge into her bedroom and ask her to marry us. Not the best strategy. We're gonna go a little bit slower than that, but still not slow at all. This is the first time we've ever talked to each other, being very formal with our introductions, and explaining the whole us becoming ruler of the kingdom here. And she understands what that's going to mean. She has many suitors, and she's not particularly fond of any of them. She will give us a chance to impress her. We're going to talk about some stuff with her. We got Advisor Grimm over here in the throne room. The king's sole advisor, it seems. Competent, a nice fellow. He's been very helpful all those times that I talked to him. I lie. We are starting this relationship based on deceit. Good start. What about all these other suitors? They're always bothering her, hoping to win her heart. And she's going to try to shoot, and she somewhat wants to shoot them with her bow. There's also some hilarious dialogue options in here. Some absolutely ridiculous things to say. Selling Ring of Poverty. We're going to laugh at her joke. Seems like a better strategy here. I will hold them down while you shoot them. And I'm sure your archery's perfectly fine to not hit me in the process. So you like archery then? You can tell, because it has an entire bow cabinet here. Very noticeable. Some people think that archery is cowardly. Well, there's a lot of skill involved, don't you think? Archery is a noble art. I'm a huge fan of archery. It's definitely not my lowest combat style. I mean, 70's still acceptable, though. I'm sure we're fine. And now, it's time to start the gift giving. Give her some flowers that we got from downstairs. There you go. And we can show off our dance moves. She's impressed. We're doing decently so far. But we haven't even told her our name yet. It's Rakla. Possibly a bit better than my actual character name, which in all caps can be interpreted as screaming. And we're going to be on first name basis with the princess. No, not yet. We can call her Princess. Very well. The history of these islands, very uneventful for the most part. Until her father declared war on Exeteria. Why did he do that? The Queen Sigrid, insulted him. Cattle prod, weapon of choice, I reckon. It's almost like this is the chaotic part of the character trying to get out. And then what happened? Neither island has an army. That would slow down a war quite a bit. She got an interest in archery ever since she was little. I'm quite fond of archery myself. Good to share some interests. So what would you do if you ruled the kingdom? Setting up trade. Sounds like a good idea. Not too much you can really accomplish such a small kingdom. Well, that's a good first idea. Time for another gift. We know she likes archery, so I got a willow shortbow here. Lovely. And now, she's growing quite fond of us. We're melting her heart. We're on the short list, at least. Now we can chat about her brother. They don't get along all the time, but he's a nice fellow. And also, a great bard. Miscellanea. It's nice. Lovely little country. Nothing too complicated. Pleasant, though. She doesn't get many opportunities to go use her archery in battle, but she does do a bit of hunting. The rabbits outside the castle? Nope. Don't get much opportunity, I suppose. Maybe we could go hunting together. That'd be something. Gonna give her a below kiss. Aren't we the charmer? Calling each other dear and darling. I think it's time to propose with an emerald ring. We've only known each other for a few minutes, but there you go. We're not actually going to get married, though. We need to get a priest here first. But she has agreed to the idea. Alright. That is that part sorted. Now we need to go and talk to the queen over on the other island. Back downstairs. Out of the castle. And it really is just a short jog over to the other kingdom. They are very small island nations here. You got some fields, a castle, a mine, some buildings, and then a bridge over to the other island. They got some trees, farming patches, a castle, a bank, which is, of course, not very useful for us. We can just run on up here and talk to the queen. She doesn't really have a throne room like the king did, so we're just here in the queen's bedroom. Hello. She's very busy. She has to attend the opening of a new orphanage and receiving the ambassador from Karamja on a week-long tour. And there's gonna be a grand ball with all the nobility. Who is she kidding? Nothing ever happens here. She's very bored. We are here to negotiate a peace treaty between these great nations. Or tiny tiny nations that literally have a bridge between them. She will accept, as long as Exeteria is recognized as a sovereign nation. That's not already the case. Nope. The king has not agreed to that. Somehow. Declared war. Claimed all of the land as his own. And then when they realized they don't have an army, it was very awkward. And that's when he went and got cursed, which hasn't improved anything either. So now we can go back and talk to the king. There could be a significant bit of running here between the islands. But we can also cheat the system a little bit by coming to the fairy ring. And we can recharge our run energy if that becomes necessary. So, as much as they are technically at war, nothing's really happening because they don't have an army. So, if we can just get this sorted, shouldn't be too bad. The queen will agree to the peace as long as you recognize their sovereignty. And he will as soon as they change their national anthem. The national anthem is the insult he spoke of earlier. The title alone is "You're stupid, we're the best." I'm sure we can get this fixed. And now we get to run back, because of course we do. Okay. Queen Sigrid, you need to change your anthem. She thinks it's a great anthem, and she can boast it herself. Here is the national anthem. You're stupid, we're the best. Exeteria beats the rest. And Queen Sigrid is very pretty. King Vargas is a fool. Hey, nani nani. Wow. We're going to need to find a bard to write a new one then. And there is no bards to be had in her country. We know of a bard. They are conveniently located right back on the other island. It's Prince Brand. He's got such things in his room as a harp. He's holding a lyre. He will be the perfect choice to compose a new anthem. And it's done. Exeteria, Exeteria. Oh, what a great country it is. Exeteria, Exeteria. So I wrote a song about it. It's somewhere in the sea, and it looks very nice. If it weren't for your ancestors, it wouldn't be there at all. And when things aren't going too well, we sing this lovely song, then we'll all feel so much better. It won't take very long. We get a copy of the awful anthem. He just came up with it on the spot. As an official anthem, hopefully you would take a little bit more time to work on it. So we're going to talk to Advisor Grimm for the first time here. I've got this awful anthem. Can you help? He'll give it a few adjustments. And done. Now we have a good anthem. Much better. And we get to run over to the other island again. A lot of this could have been solved by just having the queen come over here on a diplomatic mission. That's fine. we can walk. I return with a new anthem. Let's see what changes Advisor Grimm made. A sectaria, of our country we are proud. A sectaria, let's sing its name out loud. Rising high above the water, the jewel of the north, our mothers and our fathers to build this land came forth. And in the times of darkness, sing praises of our land. In our hearts, we can be sure, our victory is at hand. Not bad. Not bad at all. So she has written up the treaty, declaring what we've agreed to. Peace, recognizing Exectaria as a sovereign nation. Now all we need is King Vargas's signature. Which of course we get over on the other island. One peace treaty, ready for the signing. But that is also going to be a problem. He can't hold a pen. So we need to find a giant pen. Any ideas, Grimm? Need a big pen? Negotiating peace? Your Majesty? Big pen? Yeah. We need to have somebody make a big pen. And there's only so many craftsmen to be found on these islands. So we are going to go and have a chat with somebody over here in the outlying buildings. We've got Minor Magnus over here. And Derek by the anvil. I have a slightly strange request. I need to make a very big pen. Can you make the pen nib about the size of a helmet? Very impressive. Slap a log in there, and there we go. A gigantic pen. Why we couldn't have just strapped a regular pen to something larger? Probably would have been fine. But this could be useful in the future too. You never know when you might need a giant pen. When you are in fact a giant. So there you go. You would have thought they would have figured this out earlier if he's been like this for a while. One big pen. Here you go. He signs with a flourish, bringing peace to the nations. Astrid has agreed to marry us. And so, we just need to get support from the population. We can do that in a number of ways, but mostly just going around and helping out. We could help mine some coal, chop down some maple trees, and rake some flax. We can get a garden rake here from the gardener and use that to do some raking. And now, I will rake flax, run over and chop maple trees while the weeds regrow until we have enough reputation with the citizens. Well, that took a while. We technically only need to get to 75% approval, but there's a hard task to get to 100%, and we are never going to be coming back here again once we're done So figured I'd just get that done. The best opportunity to do so. Talking to the king again. Now everything is in order for us to become the ruler. We are gathered here today for me to be in control. It's a terrible idea, and he's never going to come back. The end. Quest complete. 1 quest point. Managing of Miscellanea, which we cannot do. And, if we are sneaky here, we can get into the royal coffers and steal everything. They had 10,000 coins, and I'm going to take all of them. Here's a whole screen where you can decide what you want everybody to be working on and pay them for stuff. But that all gets sent to the bank, and we don't have a bank. So we literally cannot use this, which is unfortunate, to say the least. And since we can't use it, we might as well unlock the upgrade to the thing that we can't use by doing the follow-up quest. Talking to Advisor Grimm here. Any happenings in the kingdom that I, as the ruler, should be aware of? People are worried about war breaking out. The king intends to return to adventuring, but the doors are still too small for him to leave. So in the meantime, he has been ruling the kingdom for these past few seconds, I guess, and started quarreling with the queen again. They've been writing threatening letters, trying to raise armies. They still don't have armies, though. It's all a bit of a mess. Start royal trouble. I'll sort this out. We can talk to the prince and princess to find out more. Also, Astrid's very concerned about the whole, we haven't returned to talk to her at all. We've only been the ruler for a few minutes, and everything is already falling apart. Which, at this point, should not surprise anyone. We haven't found the priest either, so yeah. Nothing is going well on these islands. Need to talk to you and the prince in the throne room. Now, where did the king go for this? I guess he's just in the corner or something. The king and the queen have been arguing, starting a war again. All of our work has been undone by the king and the queen. So, what are we going to do? We need to stop them from making such a mess all the time. And Prince Brand has an idea. We're going to get them to marry. The poetic irony would be delicious. And he's going to write their wedding hymn. Today's a happy day. We're getting married. Our national anthems are wonderful. Won't you sing this song? I don't know about that. We're gonna go with it anyways, I guess. There is no army. So we're just free to stop this nonsense. And all this time, the king is absolutely standing in the corner listening to us. The doors are too small. He can't leave. I don't think this is a good plan. But we'll try it, I guess. See, he's right here. Hey. He's very busy. Doing what? All those things that you're supposed to be doing. There's only so much. There's just so much to do. I can't be here all the time, even though I have not left since I've been given the job. Yeah. So these affairs of state, like starting another war. She started it. My goodness. But that's the least of the problems in the kingdom. Some barrels have gone missing, and also some crates, and stacks of wood. Lots of things have been stolen, apparently. So that's worth investigating, at least. Go and talk to the citizens. Figure out what's happening. And also head over to the other island. Talk to them too. We can do that. We can do that. What's going on? A bunch of things gone missing. Any information you have? Executorian soldiers came over and demanded tithes. Which is very weird. They refused, and then some of their goods were stolen anyways. That doesn't really check out, based on the fact that neither of the islands have an army. So who are these soldiers then? Hey, king. Mysterious army came and stole stuff. So he thinks that Sigrid is planning to invade. Or do a reverse and claim all of this island as hers. Like you did previously. So we need to go and talk to the queen and figure out what this army is all about. Hey, Queenie. She's writing another angry letter. But we need to fix these problems. All this war again. Unacceptable. Although her insults about his parentage probably didn't help. My goodness, the rulers here. Even so, items have been stolen from the citizens over here as well. So I should go and sort that out. Of course. We can go talk to the citizens here, and they will explain what happened. She doesn't have any free time between writing angry letters. So of course we need to do everything. No surprises here. Talk to Moldov here. Ask him about the things going missing. And he says that miscellaneous soldiers came over here asking for tribute. They said no, but stuff got stolen anyways. So that is both sides claiming that an army that doesn't exist has stolen things. Very strange. Go and report this to the Queen. And she's probably not going to be very impressed by our tale. Everybody's been stolen from by soldiers that don't exist. She blames the king, because of course she does, and completely denies the stories of her soldiers doing the same. There hasn't been an army here for centuries. So there must be someone in disguise. My responsibility to deal with this. I suppose. Fun. Hello, King. Strange things are afoot. Much like when we talked to the Queen, he's outraged about the other guy's army and denies his army because they don't exist. And so, we need to find what's actually going on. They must have come from somewhere, these soldiers in pretend. So we'll ask the advisor if he has any ideas about the missing goods and the quote-unquote soldiers that stole them. Assuming that nobody from the islands took them, which doesn't seem too likely. They would have to have come from outside the islands. So we should go talk to the sailor that brought us here from the mainland. Yeah, that's definitely something that's happened. I only get to this island via fairy ring, I'll have you know. So, as far as the sailor is concerned, we are some weird guy that he's never seen before. Of course, we're also the ruler of the nation, so I think he's just going to need to deal with it. Soldier in disguise from a different location? Possible. Whoever it is, she has some information from the sailor here. I'm looking for a sailor. Yep, that's his name. Sailor. Any suspicious people arrived recently? Or just anyone in general visiting? No one besides me and some kids from Rolaka. They came over a few weeks ago, going to see their relatives in the dungeons, visiting from the mainland. First I'm hearing about these dungeons. I didn't even know those existed. You would have thought that would have come up. It's not for prisoners anymore. So it's more of a inn and extra living space. Nobody else could build any houses outside here. So they just live in the dungeon instead. They're also enlarging the cavern there. They got some dwarves digging stuff up. So we need to go and check these dungeons. Hey, Vargas. When were you going to tell me that we have dungeons? He just forgot about it. That's not ideal. Good thing they're not holding any prisoners in there. Or the situation would have been worse. He just completely forgot about it. My goodness. The sailor has told me about some teenagers from Roleka visiting their relatives in the dungeons. So I want to go down there and check things out. There's another thing that he wants us to do in the dungeon, though. As they are expanding it with the dwarves' help, they've seen some odd things in the caves. Possibly monsters. So we should go and deal with that. The guard at the dungeon entrance won't recognize us, even though whole ruler of the island thing. He's been hired recently. While we were gone, I guess. So we're just going to give him this scroll showing him that we have access. Read scroll. King Vargas proclaims the bearer of the scroll is regent of Miscellanea. That's one way to do things. Could have just given him information that I am the regent, not just whoever holds this piece of paper. That seems like a legal loophole waiting for messes. He didn't vote for me. Here, I have the scroll. Let me inside. Everything's in order. And we've given him the scroll, so now this is his problem. Got all sorts of stuff down here. We got various shops and a pub. When looking for information, always go to the pub. Got a dwarf here, and he's helping on the excavations. But he's gotten a bit spooked. There's monsters in the caves. Huge teeth, flaming red eyes, massive. Sounds like a job for me. I'm an adventurer and the regent of Miscellanea. So I should go and deal with it. Dealing with monsters is what I do best. There's a crack in the wall near where the other dwarves are. So we can get in there by propping up the tunnel. And then once we're in there, we need to make a lift. Fix it, climb into the monster tunnel, and go deal with it. Here's the mining prop that we need. So we're just going to head over here to the crevice. Pop that in here. And squeeze inside. In here, we've got a lift manual explaining all the different parts to make the pulley and beams and the engine on this broken scaffold and platform area. We got pulley beams, we got ropes, we got beams without the pulleys on them. All sorts of stuff. Pick up an entire engine off the ground. because why not? And fix up some of the broken scaffold here. Long beam with a pulley. Make it even longer. This is always a fun time. You can drop this, and it's just enormous. Look at the size of that item on the ground. My goodness. And we need some ropes. Grab another pulley beam. Just whole piles of stuff. Another beam out of that. We can read the book here. Explains how to fix everything. A long top beam with pulley. Pulleys on 2 cross beams. All sorts of bits and bobs to put together. Grab another pulley beam. Slap that on here. Then a longer one. Up at the top, which we can't see exactly. Looks more stable now. Now we can check the manual again. Attach the ropes. And the engine. With the engine platform. Repair the platform with a beam in the box. Looks repaired to me. The lift in the box does not include the engine, so we have to get this part just off the ground here. Fix the platform part of the platform, which is totally necessary before we put the engine in, obviously. Add some coal to the engine. And it doesn't even need to be lit. It just automatically goes. Ain't that something? And now, we can take the lift up to the top. Here's a free plank. And a fun tunnel to go squeeze inside. Whee! Here's a rope swing. We're gonna need one of those ropes. Use a rope on the rock to add a rope swing on this side. Swing across this water here. And we see the embers of a fire up ahead. Apparently somebody has been in the caves here. We find a burnt diary from Armad Runston. Now we just need to move further into the tunnels here. Use a convenient plank that we picked up to walk across these rocks. Looks like the size of a place we could easily just jump across, making it easier for ourselves. We got another page explaining how Armad and his group of friends are doing the Fremnik trials and doing very poorly. So, in order to cheese the system, they've decided to put things in their own hands. They had to leave Releka in a bit of an exile. And we just walked across a steam vent. Who's the real incompetent here? So, they headed over here to the islands to become adventurers. Try to do something at least. But we beat them to the punch. They wanted to marry the king's daughter. We beat them there too. But they have a new plan. All they need is the right armor and a hideout in the caves. And everything is going to work. More and more pages we keep finding in each of these fires. Their plan worked. The kingdoms are at war. And now they are going to bring peace and impress everyone. Although, of course, things did not go to plan. There's monsters. Specifically, giant snakes. They're cold, hungry, and trapped. And they can't go back to the town because they couldn't pay their tab at the bar. They've been burning the diary to stay warm. It is a bit of a mess in here. And so, further in the tunnels, we find them. Complaining about all of the problems that they have made for themselves. Between the bar and pretending to be soldiers and stealing things, and the giant monsters, and that they are now lost, and they're out of diary to burn. It's a mess. It is a mess all around. And it's not exactly surprising that they didn't finish their trials correctly. Now they just want someone to come and save them. And that someone is me. Most of them tried to hide. This guy's just standing here. And they tell him he should pretend to be a rock. What a mess. What a mess. Hello. I see you all here. He's being a rock. Okay. Can you guys stop messing around? I have your diary. Also, I read it. What are you guys doing? Making a giant mess to try to solve it? To prove that you should be in the Fremnik? Everybody else is too scared to come down to these caves. I am in charge here, and you guys are all in trouble. We are the adventurer that they heard about. Married the princess, ruling the kingdom. And you are the guys in the diary. The ones making a big mess of everything. Where are the stolen goods? I need to get those back. From the huge snake. They put all their stuff deeper in the caves. And then a huge snake moved in. It's made a nest out of all the boxes. So now, of course, it is up to us to get rid of the snake. They can't even leave. And they want to go home. I was going to get rid of this snake anyways. So this is fine. And I guess I won't tell your father how badly you messed up. My goodness. Here's our first sighting of the snakes. We got some hatchlings. And the hatchlings alone are level 62. Even bigger ones, level 90. But these are still the young. We're after the big snake. Through this crevice. Giant sea snake. Level 149. Has melee attacks in melee and range attacks from range. Can poison, but isn't smart enough to switch up his attack styles. So this is one giant sea snake dealt with. Drop some mist runes and a heavy box. 1. Nah. All the crates are still down here. We're just going to take this box. And we get some guard that lower down a rope through the hole here. Very convenient for us. We can just leave. Nice. Since we're over here, we'll go and talk to the Queen. Fill her in on what's actually going down here. Okay. Greetings, Your Majesty. I have figured out and solved all of the problems. It was a group of teenagers from Roleka. They were pretending to be soldiers, to start a war, solve it, and be hailed as heroes. They stole things, got trapped by a giant snake, and that's all been dealt with. I have the items with me. We have shown ourselves to be an excellent diplomat and warrior. And her citizens would like their items back. We'll get a suitable reward for our efforts. But we also need to head over to the king. And she's giving us a letter as a formal apology to him. We can read this letter. Because why not? Everything is now okay. Explaining all of the issues that we faced and how she's no longer interested in war again. Back to the king. It's over. Finally over. All the problems have been solved. The war will no longer need to happen. Those responsible have been found. And we even have the missing goods. At least some of them. But now with the sea snakes taken care of, that can all be collected later. Here is a formal apology from the Queen. And with the sea snake caves, the caverns between the two islands are now connected. So we can join forces and develop them for more housing. A pretty good idea, I would say. There's also a bit of a love letter. These two warmongering fools should get along very well. And so, he's just going to think about it for a while. Probably send his own apology letter. But in the meantime, we have succeeded more than even expected. And we get another reward. From both kingdoms this time. 1 quest point, 5,000 experience in agility, slayer, and hit points, 20,000 coins, and increased resources, which we can't actually get. We check with the advisor here. The 20,000 coins were a quest reward and not hidden in the royal coffers. But with that, we're done. We now rule this kingdom that we're never going to return to because they don't like that I don't have a bank and won't give me any of the resources that I paid them for. Oh well. Their loss. Next up, this combat level needs to be 1 higher. Next time. Goodbye.